Warning, this video is a parody of all other speedrun explanation videos. This isn't actually a real speedrun, I'm more of just a parody of a shitpost I saw. So I just thought, why not make a meme of this for the first video of 2020? I mean, that's basically what the internet is, following up everything, but yeah, this is a parody, and this speedrun doesn't really exist, so anything that relates to real things in speedruns is by pure coincidence. Anyways, enjoy. Expiration date is a really difficult and technical speedrun. Most people have only ever been able to crack a minute by tasks, and the most a human has ever done is about 3 minutes or so as they miss 1 or 2 different texts that they need, usually all failing at the same. But recently, a YouTuber called Shork actually managed to do all of the tricks at once, managing to get the best time ever put into expiration date speedrunning. But how is that? Well, I'm CHAL Gaming, ready to tell you how this 33-second time was possible. Now, first of all, so that we all know what we're talking about, I'm going to show you a quick, uncommentated by me, show of the run. It's commentated by Shork, where he tried to explain what's going on, but I'm going to give a more technical sort of talk to it. Anyways, enjoy a guy being happy after beating a game in 33 seconds.
Hey guys, so good. Today I'm going to be trying to get my world record in expiration date. I've been practicing a lot, and I think I got it now. Okay, we can just skip this. Alright, and now we gotta throw the keys long enough to press the button so we can spawn Miss Pauling early. We also have to get enough bread so that the bread monster will spawn. So you're just kinda gonna get a spank. Okay, so Miss Pauling should spawn now. Yes! Okay, now we just gotta do the dog glitch. It's pretty easy. Let me... Okay, yeah. Okay. Come on, come on. Yes! Whoa! World record! Yes! Oh my god! We got it!
Now what I'm going to do is we're going to play for it again, but I'm going to pause at the appropriate moments, and then tell you the specific things that he had to do to get the time.
Hey guys, so good. Today I'm going to be trying to get my world record in expiration date. I've been practicing a lot, and I think I got it now.
Stop! Already with this van, we have an interesting thing to talk about. When you're using the van, it has 2 different modes. One when it's on the tarmac, where it goes at a very normal pace, and one where it's on the gravel, where it goes significantly slower. But, at the very first second of it being in the tarmac phase, it only starts accelerating for the first second, and then when it lands on the ground because of something to do with the coding. So, if you utilize the can to bring the van completely upwards into the air, then it never stops accelerating until it lands. Now, it's really buggy to get the actual landing down, but speedrunners have mastered this, so it's not that much of a big deal. So anyways, let's continue the video.
Okay, we can just skip this.
Now, you may have noticed how that cutscene skipping was so jittery. Well, that's because all of the cutscenes is something I would like to call staged, because they're not actually video. Instead, the gameplay itself is still going on in the background while everybody is forced into a scene. It doesn't hide any of the GUI because there isn't any, but whenever you do any of these glitches, the GUI isn't even there to begin with. So, because he just skipped ahead, the UI isn't there. Anyway, back on point. Every single cutscene has about 15 or 20 of these staged parts, which every time you skip, it just moves to the next one. Now, we're going to have to remember this for later, so keep that in your heads. But for now, let's just continue.
Alright, and now we gotta throw the keys long enough to press the button so we can spawn Miss Pauling early.
Even though this is the second hardest cutscene skipping glitch to perform, it's also one of the easiest to explain, because this is part of a key story element. Whenever one of these are activated, it spawns different parts of the story that should only be happened in sequence order. For example, hitting the button will spawn Miss Pauling heading to the area, but you can't actually get in if there's not enough bread, but more on that in a little while. But for some reason, this button is always active, and anything can press it. So if you just throw the keys at it, which is really difficult to do, mind you, because the keys tend to like fly wherever they want when you throw it. It is a pretty buggy part of the game, which Valve didn't really focus on. It's really difficult for it to land on the button. Now, the reason why is because it tries to move it on to the next cutscene, which you can just skip, the nice catch sequence. But if you land that, it skips it forward one scene to the bread teleporting scene, which is exactly where we need to go next, and is where the next explanation comes in.
We also have to get enough bread so that the bread monster will spawn. So you're just kind of gonna get a spank. Okay, so Miss Pauling should spawn now. Yes!
This next part is difficult to explain, but I'll try my best. So, you can notice when it's getting teleported that there's only one bread loaf normally, right? Well, Valve added this really cool little Easter egg where if you press a button, it will summon 2 instead by plussing 1 to the counter. Now, this may be really cute, but instead of putting +1, they accidentally put ×2 and didn't cap when you could stop. So you can just infinitely keep spawning bread to your heart's content during the cutscene for the time that it allows. Now, the significant thing about this is that bread is what controls the time. If you have too little bread, then you'll be moved to an earlier cutscene like, I don't know, Spice Smoking Room or the final area, like final stage or something, I don't remember the name, but I'll put a screenshot here. But if you do too many, the game will immediately know that you're trying to skip out the entire thing. So you kind of got to get that perfect balance to get to the 40 minutes till death cutscene, which has another glitch which lets you get to the end without the game even knowing it. And with Miss Pauling being spawned, she was already spawned when the briefcase button was pressed. She was just waiting outside to be used because she was a prop that was trying to be used, but the bread time didn't allow it. So when the bread time hit enough, it automatically activated the 40 minutes till death cutscene. So that's how we got to where we are now. Now let's continue with one of the easier glitches in the game.
Okay, now we're just gonna do the dog glitch. It's pretty easy. Okay, yeah.
Now, the door glitch is pretty easy to explain. You remember the whole sequence thing we talked about before, right? Well, the last part is just one big cutscene until the bread monster. But there's a weird property with the doors that lets you completely skip the fight if you play your cards right. Because doors are usually only used in the story about 5 times. I can't recall all the times, but it was definitely 5 in total. And in all of them, if you activate another door from somewhere else, glitches galore happens. But none of them are useful, and they're all near impossible, and have only been proven by tasks. But with this part of the cutscene, because it's really easy, you spawn right next to the door when Miss Pauling's coming. Normally, the game teleports you there right when Miss Pauling opens the door, but if you're quick enough, right when she enters that door, you can enter the door with the bread monster contained in it. That skips the sequences like 50 sequences into the future, but then you can immediately cancel it by spamming it so many times that the game does this weird thing where if a script is used too many times, it completely cancels it for the most comparative relative thing, which was the door that was just shown before, completely cancelling out the event. And if the bread monster is ever despawned, the game thinks you beat it because it despawns it to show the exploding effect when you do it, basically skipping out on the entire battle. But this isn't even the hardest glitch in the game because it's pretty easy, to be honest. The hardest part is the next glitch.
Okay. Come on, come on. Yes! Whoa! World record! Yes!
This is the hardest trick to pull off, and it's right at the very end too. You see, because there's nothing else going on after the bread monster has died, the game tries to play the final cutscene. Now, it tries to make the cutscene unskippable. Now, in the development of it, there was originally going to be a skip feature, but they quote-unquote scrapped it. But if they were to completely scrap it, what they wouldn't have told us is that it would have completely broken the final cutscene, leading to a game with no ending. So instead, they made the skippability of it only at the very first frame. So, your skipping needs to be absolutely frame perfect, or you waste like 45 seconds having to sit through the ending. Yeah, it's not the most technical of them all, but Jesus Christ, it's the most insulting if you get wrong. So that's it. That is how Shork beat the entirety of Expiration date with no tasks in only 33 seconds.
Yes! Whoa! World record! Yes! my god! We got it!
There we go! Did anybody like that parody of what I usually do for the beginning of 2020? No? Oh, I'm not gonna get on trending? That's a shame. So happy 2019, everyone, and thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I know I sound like a sellout, but I really need these videos to get around. And if you truly think this is something worth being put on a wall, Social Blade is saying that my subscriber rank is going slowly away from the 9 million mark when before I was under 8 million. So come on, please subscribe so I can get back there. But until next time, thanks for watching, everybody, and here's my daily Fortnite roast. Fortnite doesn't have any speedrunning community. It's just boring, filled with casual players. Ah!